While clearing out the roots of a tree in his yard, the man accidentally uncovered a small humanoid statue buried beneath them. As he brushed away the dirt, the figure's head began to gleam faintly with a golden shine. His breathing grew faster, a mix of unease and excitement flashing in his eyes. He had no idea what it was, but deep down, he could feel that this thing might change his life forever. Charlie hurriedly carried the statue into the house and rinsed it clean with water. The head turned out to be gold-plated. He hid it deep in the storage shed, unable to sleep that night. One thought kept circling in his mind: how much could this be worth? The next day, Charlie arranged to meet his close friend Michael in secret. He showed him a photo of the statue on his phone. Michael's breathing quickened, his voice lowering as he asked if the statue was made of solid gold. Charlie shook his head, saying it was only gold-plated, but as an ancient artifact, it could be just as valuable. Michael's excitement was impossible to hide. He clapped Charlie on the shoulder, laughing as he urged him to find a buyer fast. Still, he couldn't help but ask where Charlie had found it. Charlie hesitated, then replied coolly, "That doesn't matter." Michael frowned, sensing that Charlie was hiding something. Pressed for an answer, Charlie made up a story. He said he'd found it while wandering in the mountains, completely by chance. Michael's expression relaxed instantly, and his tone turned eager. He said he had connections, people who specialized in acquiring items like this. But he also added a condition: he wanted a cut. Charlie paused for a few seconds, then nodded. Michael promised he'd have news soon. On the way home, Charlie sped down the road on his motorcycle, wind roaring past his ears. He tilted his head back and let out a wild shout, his voice filled with exhilaration and relief, as if releasing years of pent-up frustration all at once. He thought about those long days selling souvenirs near the international terminal, standing by his dusty stall, trying to talk uninterested tourists into buying something. He thought about his wife, working from dawn till night at the breakfast shop, her clothes always reeking of cooking oil. He thought about his daughter, still wearing shoes that were too small, and his son's monthly college tuition, money they could never seem to save enough for, no matter how hard they tried. But now, everything was different. The statue he found, its golden glow seeping through the dirt, felt like destiny itself had finally reached out a hand. Their hard days were finally coming to an end. That night, when Charlie returned home, his wife was mending clothes under the dim light. He lay beside her, strangely relaxed, almost cheerful. Then, softly, he brought up the idea. What if they opened a little shop together? He said they could sell food and maybe some souvenirs on the side. It would be their own business, something they could someday leave to the kids. That day, Michael took Charlie to meet the buyer. Charlie carefully unwrapped the layers of packaging, revealing the statue inside. The buyer studied it for a moment, then gave a cold remark. No one, he said, would pay $2 million for something like that. The most he'd offer was $500,000, flat, not a penny more. Charlie's heart sank. He tried to explain that the statue's head was gold-plated, but the buyer waved him off impatiently. "That's the only reason I'm even offering $500,000, he said. "Otherwise, it'd be worth maybe $200,000, tops." The number 500,000 seemed to hang in the air, echoing in Charlie's mind. It was far less than he had hoped for. Still, for his family, that was a huge amount of money. Enough to buy a car, renovate their house, and pay for their son's tuition and living expenses for a whole year. The buyer could tell Charlie was hesitant. Calmly, he added, "If you think that's too low, you're welcome to find another buyer, but you won't get a better offer." He gave Charlie 5 minutes to think it over. In the end, Charlie agreed to the deal. He came home carrying a heavy bag full of cash and dumped it all out on the couch right in front of his wife. She froze in disbelief, staring at the mountain of bills, and asked where all that money came from. Charlie gave a secretive smile. He didn't explain much, just kept repeating that it was a gift from heaven, a blessing from the earth, a treasure passed down by their ancestors. His eyes grew misty. After all these years, he finally had a chance to give his family a better life. Things started changing quickly after that. Charlie bought a new car, not a luxury one, but still a dream come true for the family. When summer break arrived, their son Doruk came home from school, and the family was together again. That evening, during a dinner gathering with close friends, the atmosphere was warm and lively. Charlie cleared his throat and made an important announcement. He and his wife had decided to open their own restaurant. They were done working for someone else. Late at night, the wife sat alone on the couch, going through the family's savings. As she counted the last of the bills, her expression grew heavier. Their recent expenses had drained nearly everything they had left. She went to find Charlie, her voice filled with worry, asking what they were going to do now that he hadn't been working for days. Charlie slowly lifted his head, his eyes full of conviction, and said that before this house was even built, the old tree had always been there. He explained that his grandfather once wanted to cut the tree down and sell it, but his grandmother had stopped him, saying the tree was far too old, at least 500 years, maybe even 1,000. Charlie believed that the tree had been asleep all this time, and that the treasure they'd found beneath it was the tree's way of repaying their family. His voice grew firmer with every word. He said the tree had been guarding the family's treasure treasure, which was why his grandmother never allowed anyone to touch it. Now that its roots had broken through the wall, he believed cutting them wasn't an accident. It was fate giving him a sign. If heaven didn't want us to find that golden statue, he said, the wall never would have cracked. Charlie was certain there was more treasure buried underground. His wife listened in disbelief, feeling a chill in her chest as she saw the obsession deepening in his eyes.
Ya hiç yoksa?
Var Nermin, var. Hissediyorum bunu.
A few days later, Michael showed up again. He came with a smile that barely hid his greed, saying it had been too long since they'd seen each other and suggesting they have tea and ketchup. Charlie brushed him off, saying he wasn't feeling well and they could talk another time. But Michael wasn't ready to give up. As he was leaving, he turned back and lowered his voice, saying, "Why don't we work together and keep digging? I'm sure there's more down there." Charlie's expression turned cold. He said it was just luck, nothing more, and that he wasn't going back, nor did he even remember where the spot was. Michael didn't believe him and kept pressing, but Charlie stood firm. The air between them went tense and heavy.
Satmaya müşteri için ararsın beni.
Ne bağırıyorsun? Ne bağırıyorsun? Hadi eyvallah.
Eyvallah.
After Michael left, Charlie's son brought home a pile of wooden boards and digging tools. It turned out that Charlie planned to dig from their own storage room straight down to the base of the tree's roots, ensuring that no one could ever uncover their secret. Father and son worked in tandem. The boy used the boards to brace the walls, while Charlie carefully lifted the clean soil bit by bit with his shovel. Sweat streamed down their necks, and each strike of the shovel seemed to beat like the drum of destiny. Charlie believed that buried beneath the tree lay not just treasure, but a chance for their family to completely turn their fate around.